my brother. You know him. Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Hello. Welcome back to What It Does Well. Okay. You got me. You caught me red-handed. I confess, I'm a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. The books and TV shows, they practically defined my childhood. And if you are also a fan of Holmes, then I have some great news for you. Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments, released in 2014, could very well be the Sherlock Holmes simulator. Let me count the ways. Sherlock's sense of humor and wit, check. 19th century London, check. 221B Baker Street, check. Disguises, check. Deductive reasoning, check. Clue hunting, check. Some moral decisions, check. Toby the dog, without spoiling anything, check, and check. And so much more. But while the game doesn't follow the same stories as the books, what is important is that it has captured their essence and setting. In this regard, it's an extremely faithful adaptation. The developers have shown themselves to also be great fans of Sherlock, and this isn't even their first Sherlock Holmes game. The attention to detail and love that they've put into this game really shines. The game is broken up into 6 episodes, with each one a different case for Holmes and his trusty sidekick Dr. Watson to solve. And these episodes are written so damn well that you could easily mistake them as being from the books themselves, even though they're not. So truly, my compliments to the writer. It also has some terrific voice acting. You can really feel the emotions. And if you listen carefully, you might even be able to spot when a suspect is lying. The environments are super detailed, so hunting for clues becomes a pleasurable experience, since just looking around is already a very pleasurable experience. But where the game really shines are the logical deductions. Here, you really get into the brain of Sherlock Holmes, juggling possibilities without attaching to them until you come up with something that fits the evidence. The problem, you see, is that multiple conclusions can fit the evidence. And in this case, your own skills in clue hunting and attention to details are what makes or breaks your final decision of who has done what. So it pays to be extra careful when you're reading documents and observing the characters, just as it would for a real detective. As for the gameplay, it's not a difficult game, but it is possible to reach the wrong conclusion at the end, and it is possible to miss some clues. At the end of each episode, the game also gives you the opportunity to check if you have come to the right conclusion or not. And you can then go back and go through the evidence again. Or you can move to the next episode. And it also compares how you played to other players on the internet, which is a rare but I think nice little gimmick in games. It's always interesting to see what choices other people have made. Still, ultimately, Crimes and Punishments does fall somewhat into the genre of walking simulators. That said, it does its very, very best to keep you engaged. You're always thinking, observing, reading, and interacting with the environment. And you really do practically become Sherlock Holmes. Sometimes your own brain is actually ahead of the game, and at these times, you very much feel like a real genius detective. Other times, you're following along at the same pace. In this state, you're busy looking for clues, engaging and interacting with the world, and enjoying the story. And then there are other times still where your own deductive abilities might fall a little short. Then the game somewhat drags you along, but at this stage you might feel more like Dr. Watson and simply be impressed by Sherlock's abilities while enjoying the ride. But don't think that you're just going to be a passive observer. No, no. It is possible to miss some clues, especially in some of the episodes with bigger environments. So, if you are a fan of Sherlock Holmes, then this game is absolutely for you. But even if you're not, maybe you're just a fan of great storytelling and writing, or perhaps you'd like to take a break and engage in a slower and more thoughtful type of video game. Then, Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments would be right up your London alley. Did I miss anything? If you've played Crimes and Punishments, tell us what you thought about it in the YouTube comments below.